Welcome. My name is Stephen Revel, and I will be giving you a brief overview of my COMP3005 final project database and application. So, what this application is fundamentally a streamlined version of what the Steam service does in terms of showing all of your information related to games for users that have subscribed to the service and have purchased games through it. So I've taken a volume of information on the Steam Web API, which is a public service that you can query different bits of information about users' profiles, their games, achievements, etc. And I have taken this information and refined a subset that I have found interesting and stored it within a database so that users could uh, query in a more streamlined and condensed manner the information relating to their profiles and their friends' profiles, for example. It has a number of different features here that I'm just displaying on the main web page here. Namely, it's using an SQLite 3 database in the background. It's using normalized structure, and it has a few different features containing what information is actually stored. And if we head over to the Explore the Database tab here, we can have an overview of what the ER model actually contains for the database. So namely, I have four entities of interest in this. I have a user entity, a review entity, a game entity, and a achievements entity. As we can see here, users and games have an end-to-end relationship. So users can own n games, and games can be owned by many different users. For reviews on this side, we have that every review must be linked to one game, and games can be linked to many different reviews. So reviews must be posted on a game in that sense. And similarly for users and reviews, reviews must be left by a user. Only one user can leave one review, but users can leave many reviews. On the user side, we have the friends with relationship. So users can have many friends. So it is an end-to-end relationship in the sense that many users can be friends with many other users. And then heading to the achievements area, each achievement belongs to one game uniquely, but games can have many achievements. And for unlocking achievements for users, users can have unlocked many different achievements, and users can achievements, sorry, can be unlocked by many different users. The different primary attributes can be seen listed here on the different entities, as well as all the different attributes that give the different fields and usefulness to this database of the information that I am storing. If I jump to this other tab here, we can see the table schema, which is pretty much a direct mapping of the ER model, and it's just put here for ease of viewing. All right, if I jump over to the database interaction portal now, you can see that my app has a primary search function, and this lets users query information on both games and users at the same time in a simple, easy to use interface. So if we do a simple query, such as anything containing the substring S, we can search for all users and games that have this at the moment. A limited amount of information has been queried as the amount of information that you're actually collecting scales exponentially based on the amount of users that you've input. So it's a small subset for now to show the proof of concept, so to sort. So this is a first example of a use case is searching for either games or users, and it lets you discover potentially different games that you weren't aware of that exist, or different users that you can look at. For this one, we're going to do a refinement query on this first search, which is clicking the user here, Saber22, which is my username on Steam, and we can view that profile now, which is refining that search query where we had just displayed the username and the ID that linked to this page. That can be seen up here. And then we now show the actual user profile. Here's some different information about the user profile, the friends the user has and the dates they were added, as well as the reviews that a specific user has left and the games that a specific user owns. We can do a secondary refinement queries by either checking out the friends of a user or by looking at the games that a user owns to go to those specific pages. So for example, we can go to one of my friend's pages and show much the same information, and then jump back to my page. And we can look at the reviews that I have left as a user. This is not refining the query in any manner. This is just information that's sort of in a drop-down menu. So if we go to a sort of secondary use case of looking at the game's interaction view, we can do this in one of two ways. We can either do it from searching through the portal. We can see no users have that name, but we can find the game Borderlands 2, which has a review left by my profile, consequently, and then also different bits of information about the game itself and all the achievements listed in the game that we can see. So this is one of the secondary use cases of checking out games as opposed to users, but there is also a second way of achieving this by, again, looking for users. And we can go back to my profile and then look at the game directly from my profile. Click on that link here, and it looks much the same, except we have a little button to go back to user profile for user ease of use. But also, if we scroll down in the achievements tab, we now see some of these achievements are grayed out to indicate that these are either achieved or not achieved by the player. So here, our achievement is locked. The user has not achieved this yet, whereas here, the user has in fact achieved this achievement at this point. So if we go back to the user profile quick, I will demonstrate the view of what an end-to-end query in my database looks like. For example, these games, as I stated, that users can own many games and games can be owned by many users. So one game you can see here is Borderlands 2. I own that game in my profile and it shows up. And I also have many different games in my library, as well as my friend Milmar. We can check out his games. He also owns Borderlands 2 down here, as well as many other games. So we can see that end-to-end relationship in action. Switching screens quickly here, we can see that the database I have built here is actually using SQL queries in the background here. So looking at that code, I select certain information from the database, and then I pass it on to the web app through this Node.js server. If I also open the database view real quick here, we can see that we are in fact using an SQLite 3 database. If I open it up here, and we can check out the schema for the table, which reflects much of the same that we have seen on the other web app. All right, so switching back to the other screen now, that I believe will conclude the demonstration of my database app. Thank you for watching.